Okay guys, in this video I'll be going over how do you buy a treasury bill on public. Now normally the way you would buy treasury bills is going on Treasury Direct. This is kind of an old-fashioned website and you gotta go through a whole bunch of steps to end up purchase it, passwords and all that particular thing. But now they have it where you can purchase treasury bills on public, and it's very easy, and I'm going to go over the process. And by the way, if you guys are also was looking at music royalties, in my last video I showed how you can get music royalties with public. Just check the suggested video. Now before I go over how to do it, let me kind of briefly, and by the way I have timestamps so you can skip around to your liking. What is a treasury bill? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with national debt. So the government, of course, they end up borrowing money, and when you have a treasury bill, you end up buying the national debt. So which means that you're lending money to the government, and then the government would just pay you back. So I know you see a whole bunch of one. Right now, the U.S. national debt is at $33 trillion. They have a whole bunch of other debts that you can kind of break down so you can see it, but this is a clear way you can see it. So that way so when you're buying a bill, you're pretty much providing a loan to the government, and it's kind of considered risk-free. This probably the safest investments that you could possibly make, but I'm going to end up going with it. So what the first thing we'll end up doing is it's either two ways. You can, once you sign on your public account, you can click treasury here, or we can go back and we can scroll down, and also here it says treasury account, and it shows you what the current yield that you would have, and you would end up purchasing the yield. This is for 6 weeks. They have, in the current yield is 5.57. It's for the 26 weeks, and they do have a small fee, but I'll kind of go over it as well so you can hit invest. So what I'm going to end up doing is to show you, we click treasury, and then what we end up with clicking enable. It lets you know public offer treasury accounts is a convenient and secure way for you to preserve your cash in high yields through an automatic purchase of T-bills. So T-bills, to me, the best way that I can think about it is bills is kind of, they help you reserve your capital. A lot of times keeping up with inflation, maybe getting right now keeping up with inflation, since rates, the higher rates are, the higher yield you would get from treasury. So if the Fed's lower rates, the treasury yields will become lower. So it's not intended for you to grow wealth, but probably more so maintain it. Treasury notes in is $100, so each treasury note is for $100. It says treasury notes generally at higher yield than high yield savings. Now, in what you call treasury notes can help preserve your capital in nearly any market environment, and it's, of course, it's one of the safest investments that you can come up with, since it's backed by the federal government, and we know the federal government can always end up printing more money. So that's the particular way, and a lot of people might ask me as far as like how do you make investment decisions and stuff. So a lot of times I base my decisions off of risk-free investments, like we consider like the treasury bills, in that with that particular yield. So if other investments may be less liquid or things like that, this is kind of what I'm primarily basing off of. If I can get a 5 or 6 yield providing a loan for a government, why would I end up doing a personal loan where I get 6 or 7, but then I have to take on that unnecessary risk? But anyway, and then once we go there, we would hit enable treasury. Shows you the current yield, and then what we'd end up doing, scroll all the way down, I agree, blah blah, that, and then you hit I agree. Now then of course you need at least $100, because that's how much every treasury bill is. So I'm going to deposit $100 so you can kind of end up seeing. And by the way, the good thing about this one is you can sell it at any particular time. So if you need the cash, you can end up getting it out at any time. And then what I'm going to do is just hit submit, and boom, I bought it. Just that simple. Now you could buy it on Treasury Direct, but it's a pretty long process, very tedious, and it's like a whole bunch of like inconvenience. But now, like I said, and if you also just wanted to sell it, you can just, are you sure you want to sell, continue, and then you would just end up, you can hit sell all and next, and just like that you would end up hitting sell. So it's very easy to buy and sell. Now, as you can see, it shows the maturity date, 4/4/2024, as far as the yields. But like I said, you can end up selling at any particular time. They do charge a small fee, I believe. Let's go to the fees, and then we can scroll all the way down for Treasury. There it is. So it's 0.005 per month. So that would check out about a year. That would be about 0.6 percent. So what we could end up doing after everything is said and done, which you probably would be looking at, 0.6 from there. So it'd probably be like 4 point. I'm just, after you do like the fee, assuming you hold it for the whole year, it'd be 0.60. So your yield will probably be more like 0.49 after you consider everything. But to me, that's not that bad. A lot of times with Treasury notes, people are holding it probably for a short amount of time. So let's say if you was about to make a major purchase and you just need to hold your somewhere to hold your cash for a couple months or something like that, and you wanted to, or even maybe like a year, you just wanted to reserve your cash and help keep up with inflation, maybe a little bit higher Treasury yields. But to me, like as far as being able to buy and sell pretty easily, that 0.05 per month is not that bad, especially since you're just using it to preserve, so you're not trying to like grow or build wealth or something like that. So a lot of times it is higher than the high yield savings, and I think it's a little bit more liquid than CDs. Well, the way they have it on this particular site, if you go to Treasury Direct, you're supposed to wait that to that whole period. But like the fact that it's liquidity, very easy to buy. I don't really think it's that bad. The fees is that bad. Take into the account that you're not really trying to grow wealth. You're just trying to, keep up with inflation, maybe a little bit more. So I think, and the inflation numbers is like at 3.7 right now. So you would be keeping up with inflation. So now let's go to my portfolio, and you can see where that the Treasury note is, where I currently have it. Treasury note, I can manage, and you can actually see what the Treasury bill, the my Treasury information is, net cash, Treasury bill, and the yield as well. The yield, the rate, I think the rate kind of fluctuates depending, because they kind of do a whole bunch of stuff in the back end. But this is my rate, but this is the current rate. So anyway, it kind of fluctuates a little bit as far as the rates. But that is, pretty much it. Very simple way to buy. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about it? Like I said, this would be, the this is actually the 10-year one, so we have a much shorter one. But yeah, that's everything. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me know what you think about offering Treasury bills on public. It's definitely much easier than going on the website, a whole bunch of inconvenience. So I think it would be kind of worth it, especially if you already had the platform and you just had the money sitting in cash. Just put it in Treasury bills. Once again, you can sell it at any time. I think my rate, depending on like when they kind of purchase it, it might be a slight difference. Your rate versus the current rate. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel.